The evening had a quiet hum, the city lights spilling softly through her apartment windows. I was 25 and she was 40. Her presence filled the room calm, poised, yet subtly magnetic. Her long black hair cascaded gracefully, her skin lightly tanned with subtle freckles, and her dark brown eyes held both confidence and a trace of vulnerability. Conversation flowed lightly, laughter scattered like soft notes, but beneath it all, a tension simmered. Every movement she made the brush of her fingers against mine. The subtle sway of her hair, the curve of her shoulders carried a silent intensity. When she handed me a glass, our hands touched just enough to make me acutely aware of her warmth. "I just want tonight," she said casually, her words light but deliberate. They were meant to set a boundary, to define the evening as fleeting. Yet for me, those words were devastatingly beautiful and frighteningly permanent. My heart, unprepared for restraint, felt it unravel. Her presence, the scent of her perfume, the warmth radiating from her skin, the quiet strength in her gaze drew me in with an irresistible pull. Time seemed to stretch. We moved around her apartment, our interactions casual on the surface but charged with subtle tension. Every accidental brush of hands, every fleeting glance, every gentle smile carried a meaning I couldn't ignore. I noticed the lines around her eyes, the way her lips curved slightly in thought. The soft cadence of her voice, all tiny details that embedded themselves in my memory. As the night drew to a close, she walked me to the door. The soft city hum wrapped around us, but inside, the silence between us was loud. "Just tonight," she repeated, a boundary she maintained with calm elegance. I wanted to argue, to tell her that one night couldn't contain the feelings rising inside me, but I only watched as she disappeared behind the door. I walked away, the echo of her presence lingering in every heartbeat. One night was meant to be trivial, but it had changed me entirely. The morning after was quietly unsettling. I awoke with the faint scent of her perfume lingering on my clothes, a soft trace of vanilla and jasmine that pulled me back to her. Every detail of her presence had left a permanent mark. I replayed our evening endlessly, the accidental touches, the warmth of her shoulder when she laughed, the subtle sway of her hair in the golden apartment light. Her words, "just tonight," echoed in my mind. For her, a casual boundary. For me, a heartbreak I hadn't anticipated. Later, she suggested meeting at a bright cafe. The sunlight reflected across her fitted blouse and skirt, accentuating her graceful posture and mature elegance. Every glance, every small gesture, a finger brushing mine, our knees nearly touching felt loaded with meaning. I struggled to maintain composure while the pull between us grew undeniable. Our conversation was light, playful even, yet beneath it lay an unspoken gravity. Each gesture reminded me of the night I had lost control of my own heart. The following days were a quiet torment. Every memory of her, from the curve of her smile to the brush of her hand, echoed relentlessly. We met again in her sunlit apartment. Her blouse flowed softly over her curves, her movements precise and elegant. Casual gestures, passing a cup, the slight touch of shoulders now felt charged with emotion. I watched the way her eyes softened when she looked at me, and the quiet sighs she let slip between words. Each nuance amplified my awareness of the bond forming between us. The night we had shared now hovered over every interaction. Tension grew in subtle ways, the unspoken, the almost touch, the way our bodies mirrored each other in conversation. Small gestures became significant, fingers brushing over a cup, knees almost touching beneath the table, shoulders angling closer than necessary. Words were careful, polite, but laden with meaning. The night she called "just one" had planted seeds of longing that neither of us could dismiss. Every farewell left a residue of ache. The casual night had evolved into a fragile intimacy, a tension suspended between desire and restraint. We met in a sunlit park. Bright greens, gentle breezes, the smell of summer, but all I could focus on was her. Sitting side by side on a bench, our shoulders nearly touching, I felt the tension between restraint and desire. Casual for her, my heart had long surrendered. Every small smile, every fleeting touch was a reminder that one night had reshaped my world. Our final meeting was on her bright porch in the golden afternoon sunlight. Our hands brushed deliberately, our shoulders close, yet every gesture was layered with the knowledge of what had been lost. Soft laughter, exchanged glances, lingering touches all underlined the ache of a heart surrendered to a night she intended to be casual. The goodbye had been silent from the start. One night, one choice, and I had lost my heart forever. carrying a quiet longing that would linger long after the door closed. Thank you for watching.